2023 has been amazing, although we have been a little bit of a slowing down these past few months because we have no more releases, so we're just waiting to see if 2024 is going to be as amazing as 2023 was. And I dare say that it actually probably will. There's many things that we can look forward to in the horizon. We have many titles that we're going to be discussing here in the channel, and that I think that 2024 is shaping to be an amazing year for gaming as well. That being said, this little game that I have for you right here, I'm puzzled. Like, I am genuinely puzzled that this game doesn't have more exposure. I know that Metroidvania and Souls-likes on themselves are kind of a niche little thing, pardon redundant, but I mean, I guess it's just baffles me, dude, how such an amazing game as this one, it's so hidden. Like, there's not too many people talking about them, about this game. They have 1K subscribers on YouTube, they have 5K followers on Facebook. Like, it's very hidden, and I think that this game needs a little bit more exposure. There's many things that you can read about this game. This is a Kickstarter game, so I will also leave you the link of all of the information about this game in the video description. Just be warned that it's a very long read. There's many things. I've done much research about this game, and yeah, there's lots to talk about. So I'm going to break down this game in 4 segments, 4 pipelines, because it strives to be one of those little things in one of each pipelines that I am referring to, that I am talking to. We're talking about a Mandragora. Anyways, this beautiful game that you see in the background. It is just amazing. So what are they trying to do with this game? What are they attempting to do? Like I said, it has 4 pillars that they are trying to reach. The 4 pillars are Metroidvania kind of exploration, similar to Castlevania. The combat, similar to a Souls-like. The narrative experience, they are striving to reach the likeliness of The Witcher 3. And then finally, the art style, as you can see in the backgrounds, it seems to be something like Ori and the Blind Forest, or the sequel, or the prequel, or yeah, Ori in general. So let's break down each and every single one of them and see if this actually is a game that you should be looking forward to. First and foremost, the narrative. One of the most important and interesting aspects about The Witcher 3 and what made The Witcher 3 what it is right now, I think that we all can say, that we all can agree, that despite of the flaws that it might have or it might not have, it was always a delight to be out there, exploring the world, doing side activities and side quests, because every single side quest that you would see on The Witcher 3 would feel as compelling and as amazing as the main storyline was. At least that was my perception of the game. The Witcher contracts, the side activities, the side stories, everything was just polished and top notch. It didn't have this Ubisoft kind of like feeling of an open world where you have just those regular check marks. Like, the game did have check marks, and there were those little dots in the map that you could go and explore and gather like treasure and stuff. But when it comes to the side activities, it basically was the side quests, and they were compelling. It was not only the main narrative. These guys, they are saying that they are striving to reach that. One of the main aspects and one of the key elements of that being amazing in The Witcher 3, and I guess also on Baldur's Gate 3, and for example, I would also like to mention on Horizon Forbidden West, is that the cinematic interaction that you would have on those pattern redundant interaction with the NPCs and how you would see and perceive the story was just amazing, top-notch quality. The animations, you would always have something in there in front of you that you could be looking, that you could be feasting your eye upon. It was not only the kind of literature part of it, of a good narrative that you would be reading, opposite to many, for example, RPGs. Baldur's Gate 3 was amazing and people loved it because it had the very same approach where you have your character right there and you're always looking at something, so it's both pleasing to watch, it's entertaining to your eye palates, but it's also amazing for the story construction. Now in here everything is about the art style, but at the very least, you can see one thing that I would like to have in here is that, for example, the animations for the characters to have lip sync, but at least it's not only that you see your character just static there and the character, the NPC that you're speaking to in the background, it is still there, but you also have this animated little GIF that you would so call, for example, and it feels like the character has a personality. So if we have this kind of major interaction on every single one of the side activities, and the narrative of this game seems to manage to stand up and be on the same point of level that they are promising to that it is, this is just amazing. This is just ideal. I love that. And that being said, the graphics, the graphical fidelity. Now, when it comes to Metroidvanias, we have many games out there. We have Blasphemous, we have Hollow Knight, we have Salken Sanctuary. All of those games have different kind of art styles, but all of them had like that kind of personality where graphical fidelity was not the main thing of everything. Here, it seems like it is, because it seems to be going for something like Ori, like I aforementioned before. Now, that said, I want to say again, this doesn't look as good as Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It doesn't look as good as Ori and the Blind Forest. It just doesn't. But still, I would be lying if I didn't tell you that whenever I was watching this gameplay, whenever I was doing my research, whenever I was placing all of those things together, I took a look onto those scenarios and I was thinking, damn, I would love to be there exploring that. One more thing to have in mind is that they are going for this dark and gray aesthetic of a grim world. And it's very difficult to build a world like that when you're trying to, like I mentioned, build a gray world and still be vibrant and colorful. And the animations of the enemies, the bosses, the interactions of all of the colors and the palette of the colors that you have in front of you, it's just feels amazing. Like I said, it's not on the level of Ori, I wouldn't say that, but still, it's to my eye, to my side, what I can see right now, for now I can say that I love that. One more thing that should be mentioned in here as well is that this could be either you're either going to hate her or love it, because it also seems to be like the case of, it seems like a Diablo 3 kind of, Diablo 3-ish kind of graphic style. And yeah, on that one, people either loved it or hated it. So that's something to have in mind. I think it looks gorgeous and it looks amazing. The graphical fidelity it feels, thanks to the art style that it has, I think that it is something amazing. Like I said, a very niche thing. Castlevania was made popular because Castlevania was Castlevania back in the day. But as technology advances, the Castlevania side-scrolling thing, it kind of becomes of a niche thing because people like to have a little bit more of a 3D openness to what they have and what they can explore on the worlds. If you're a fan of a Castlevania, Metroid, and all in all Metroidvania kind of exploration, this is what they are trying to go to in here. You have a huge world, interconnected world, that you're going to be able to explore via a fast travel system, but also it means that this verticality that you're going to have right here, it's going to open up secret paths, similar to Castlevania and Metroid, where you can use new acquired skills that you don't have at the beginning of the game to go backtrack to those areas if you remember and find treasure and loot in there. This being an RPG that is far more important, because here we do have an equipment system that we're going to be talking about briefly on the gameplay and combat section. But you do have weapons, you do have armors, you do have skills, you do have spells, you do have accessories, rings and what have you. So having that little bit of a extra layer of exploration right here, it means that much more, because now it means that you had access to many more things that I think that we are going to be using to explore and create builds, create amazing builds thanks to the items that we're going to encounter in the world. And finally, the combat. The combat system is going to be that one of an RPG, more than an RPG, that one of a Souls-like. And there are many things that I see here as a Souls veteran, and I do not say that as a petulant way. I say that as a thing that I have been playing Souls games since 2009 from Demon's Souls. So it's not that I consider myself a good player when it comes to Souls-likes, it's just that I have been playing them for a very long time, and I am very familiar with the mechanics that they have. One of the main mechanics that many Souls-likes try to accomplish and try to have, and that they fail to acknowledge that it needs, it's poise. If you don't have a proper poise system in your game, in your Souls-like, it is not going to work, it is not going to feel as a proper Souls-like. So that's one thing, they do have poise in here. They mentioned that on one of the side stats that you have in the game. Other than that, you have your main base stats such as strength, vitality, dexterity, mana, and energy, stamina, and what have you. So all of that on the character progression is very much going to be that, but you also have 6 playable classes, and all of those 6 playable classes are going to start with a talent tree. This talent tree can be branched out. It seems to be like a little bit of a big something, not gonna lie. It feels like too much at first sight when you take a look at the talent tree right here, but that only means that you can branch out into every single little thing that you would want to do. So for example, if you begin as a pyromancer, then you can probably branch into something else that is going to give you poison, for example. Or if you start as something like a necromancer, you can also branch into something that is going to give you cold spells. But those talents that affect the skills that you are going to have in on your character as a main character branch out as well to give you amazing options for builds, which is something that I love. You know, if you have been here in the channel for quite a while, then you know that we love builds here in the channel. So that's something just so gorgeous and amazing. One more thing, different weapons, and since we do have heavy weapons, we have confirmed heavy great swords. This is amazing because since we have proper poise and we have proper armor, and we're going to be able to make it work properly, and if this game, which is something that I didn't mention, but it should be something obvious, this being a Souls-like, it's all about the patterns and the enemies that you see in the gameplay that you have in the background. They have a pattern, the bosses have patterns, you have to learn those patterns, but you can also tank through them depending on the build that you're using, and poise is just amazing for my boinkers, for the heavy boinks builds. We need that kind of poise, so you can branch out into a different kind of like more agile, nimble character, but it is not going to make you that much use of a poise. I can't stress enough how much poise, how much importance do we have to give poise in these kind of games. And I think that, like I said, I did mention that neither of these elements that you have in this game stand up or manage to hold up at least when what we can see right now to each one of those things. But if you combine them together, I see this game as a jack of all trades. It has everything, it doesn't excel in particularly anything, but if you combine all of those everythings, it's just amazing. Some more little highlights that this is a Kickstarter game, and there are some little highlights that do not belong in any particular category. But for example, these guys that you are seeing on the screen right now, they are the composers of the game, and they are a very underrated Greek metal band. The soundtrack, if these guys are making it, I can promise you, this is probably my bias, but I can probably say that it is going to be just gorgeous and amazing. Fashion is also an amazing thing that we all love in Souls-likes, in RPGs in general. There is a transmog system in this game. There's many goodies. If whatever that I have told you in this video does not get you excited about this game, I do not know what should. But I think that this is what we're going to be focusing right now, since things are going to be a little bit slow. So we're going to be doing some research, and then we're going to be covering the best games coming on 2024. And I think that I have a little bit of a more hidden jewels right here to present to you guys here in the channel. Anyways, if you like the content, so like and never super appreciate it. And also you today, you're gorgeous and beautiful person. You're into the gorgeous and beautiful person. I will see you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel before I close the door. Have a beautiful day, goodbye.